Assalamu alaikum, fam. Hope you're doing fantastic. So, in the recent debate on modern day debate, there was a Muslim brother who debated TJ Jump, whatever how you say his name. It was streamed today, and the atheist said he would allow his son to use crack in moderation, and he said it in a way with a smirk that really made me feel like I was set on fire. Why is this? Because crack destroyed my mother's life. And any person who has used crack will tell you it is not a drug that you can control. Women will smoke crack till their teeth fall out. If you didn't know this, Joe Biden's son, Hunter, is a crackhead, and leftist Twitter censored the footage and laptop information that showed him with his fake teeth out. He's had, new teeth given to him because he smoked so much crack, his teeth fell out. And further, the atheists who mock us in condemning other atheists who promote drug use as cool, hip, posh, are really unjustified in many affairs concerning that. One of the reasons being is they assume that someone can use meth in moderation. With a lot of these hardcore drugs, you don't tell the drug how to express itself. That's what addiction is. It takes over. It suppresses your own will. It starts off casual and then snowballs into something worse. I want you to think about this. Atheists will say that it's because happiness. People want happiness. You don't have a right to stop people from being happy. And I would say, so you're telling me that if a mother smokes crack in front of her 2-month-old baby, she passes out, she's happy, but the child is seeing its mother collapse in front of her, and she is being woefully neglectful. There are plenty of sources concerning addict mothers when they smoked when they were pregnant, they used drugs, meth, all that horrible realm of drugs, and how the children were born with addictions and birth defects directly because of an addict mother. See, I'm starting to grow very, very hateful towards people who make drugs sound cool, because it shows you that God has given them a mercy not to watch someone slowly succumb to addiction. And so many drug addicts, fam, they lie. Oh my gosh. Whenever they need money, they steal. They're always, taking things, walking around on the street with garbage bags, trying to sell things to you. They go into stores, they steal things. They are a nuisance. And any society that has a vast amount of drug users has serious economic issues. One, because it causes more crime, not only petty thefts, but indeed like psychotic attacks. So many times you'll see just someone really high on drugs totally lash out at a mother pushing a stroller. They run naked, they walk on the highways. There's so many pages on YouTube that are actively being censored, by the way, by leftists who want to legalize, tax, and regulate all drugs, and who are liberal atheists. They get censored by conservatives who expose the insanity. So many people in the homeless encampments are mentally ill and on drugs. And enabling them to keep using drugs is not a mercy, it's not kindness, it's not cool. It is not kind to a child to see their mother shoot up heroin in front of them. That's not cool. It's not cool. I don't care how long your hair is, you wear leather jackets, you have a cool suit, and you look like, you're very progressive, and you say, yeah, crack is cool, meth is fine, people should be free to use drugs. You try to make it sound like it's this smooth. sexy vibe, modern type of attitude. It's not. Watching someone overdose from drugs is not beautiful. Watching someone lie and you know they're lying for money to buy drugs is not good. It is wrong. A woman will let her child rot in the poopy diaper because she's so high out of her mind. How many child protective service agencies see the most atrocious, mind-scarring images because the parents were drug addicts? I remember watching one police cam video where a child, he was maybe 3 years old, walking in his piss-filled diaper, covered in bug bites, somewhere in I think it was like Alabama or like really out in the country. And it was walking by the freaking freeway. And the police officer was like, "Where do you live? Where do you live?" And then the officer remembered that there was a trailer park where this, I think she might have been like Cuban or something, and she had like a white husband. They had been there before. So he went there with the child, put him in the police car, and tried to talk to him. Little kid is just kind of like, "Ooh, this is fun, police car." Goes to the parents. The parents are high off their ass in the backseat of the car. And the child is filthy, covered in bug bites, no socks, no shoes. That to me ain't cool, atheists. That to me ain't cool, liberals. My cousin, one of them, heavily addicted to Oxycontin and pills. The way these people will lie, that you just see this desperation in their eyes. I don't see it as cool. I don't see it as powerful, liberating. When the founding fathers spoke of liberty, they didn't really want an economy of drug addicts creating a communist system so they could sit around getting high all day while sober people work to pay taxes to then provide the social safety net for drug addicts. A strong nation cannot survive if the population are on their knees to drug manufacturers. And when someone says sugar's a drug, ban it, don't you dare compare sugar to freaking meth. Okay? Yes, sugar gives you diabetes. There should be regulations about how much sugar you can put in a product. High fructose corn syrup is not good for you. But organic, non-GMO, really good quality sugar is very different. I've tasted so many different kinds of sugar, let me tell you. And there is a definite difference, okay? Especially right when it's from the cane plant. Also, they say, one person died from drinking too much water. Do you ban water? That's what someone put in the chat. And it was like, are you insane? You will literally die without water. You can live without meth. In fact, people will off themselves because they can't have meth. So, this disgusting talking point of atheists, leftists, how they shame sobriety and have this it's so cool to use drugs. It infuriates people who have watched people die. It's like a sense of faith where you're just like, how dare you deny evil and then encourage evil because you think it's cool, hip, niche, liberating to watch someone harm themselves until their hair falls out, they get skin patches, their teeth get brittle. That is not beautiful. That is not wholesome, good, or profitable for economics. It's not good for anyone. And then they say, we need safe injection sites. No. You knock them out, whip them, take away the needle, shake them sober and say, you're not doing this anymore. You're not doing it. Handing someone a needle to inject themselves till their heart has some problems is not a freaking mercy. You are evil. You are evil. If you give drugs to someone's child and say, this is freedom, this is liberation, don't hold back, don't be sober, deal with your problems with drugs, that's not cool, that's not freedom, that's not good for anybody. The prayer of mothers who have watched their children die because of drugs is not cool. It is disgusting how these smug, city soft liberals who obsess over robots and space aliens and all their weird stuff that they do turn around and then say that meth, crack, heroin, overdosing on pills, this is glorious? Sure, make an argument. Psychedelic mushrooms, they grow in cow poo. I've seen those mushrooms all the time now that I'm getting good at learning all the different kinds of mushrooms because I've been buying mushroom teas. I've learned, old Amanita muscaria, Panthera amanitas. I've seen those psychedelic mushrooms. So you're like, if someone eats that, do they deserve to be in jail? No, it grows naturally under trees, right? You should resist it, but that's what they're gonna do. I myself grew cannabis before when I had a license. I was actually gonna open up a dispensary. I won't do that now, obviously, because it's not halal. But I've grown cannabis by seed, legally, and worked with those plants and seen this is a plant that comes from the earth. We're not supposed to smoke it. Okay, but do you deserve to be in jail for smoking weed? No, it's a plant. With the ayahuasca, peyote, those cactuses. No, I don't think you should be in jail. They grow naturally, just resist it, right? They grow on their own, right? They grow on their own. Tobacco, not from the cigarette companies like the kind the tribes used to have that would grow next to corn, squash, and pumpkins. That they would literally, it was very pure. They sat around the campfire, passing a peace pipe, smoking, and talking about spirituality and stuff. Do they deserve to be in jail? No, but we should just resist it. So mushrooms and plants is a different story, right? But when you're talking about things that are made by scientists that are way more potent, not found in nature, this to me is brutal. And someone using milk of the poppy to give a surgery back 2,000 years ago, they're not doing it to get the person high. They're doing it because they didn't have these types of pain medications when they're going to amputate a leg, on the battlefield, stuff like that. So for me, when someone tries to justify in a very cool European, Amsterdam, San Francisco hipster liberal way of drugs are fun, drugs give happiness, why should you care? It's like, why don't you say that at a funeral, asshole? Why don't you go to a funeral and see a crying mother whose eyes are so puffy it looks like she has been stung by 1,000 bees, and then tell her how cool drugs are? There's gonna be, I think, on Judgment Day, some scientists who made these super potent drugs because of the fentanyl trade. I really am going to be curious if we get to see how these people were judged by creating these hyper potent opioids that are literally taking so many lives in the South. It is horrific. It is awful for marriages. You come home, your partner's, freaking out, hallucinating because they smoked meth and they've been awake for 12 hours, all night, 3 days, they're just whoa, that's not fun. Officers who have to go out and deal with these people who are high on meth and they're running around naked, throwing things at the officer. You think that's great for the officer and his wife who worries about him every day? Do you think that's good for neighbors to worry about a tweaker, stealing their car stereo or trying to take their the calibrator that's under the car, stealing the copper pipes in construction sites? It's a mess. Liberal philosophy, based with this atheistic sense, is literally crushing California. The proof is in the pudding, man. Look at our freaking state and see that is what their philosophy has given us. Everywhere they go, they ruin it. Jimmy Dore is an exception. But these very, very Berkeley, type of posh people, San Francisco State University, they have the most sickest, freest type of attitude that I don't understand. It used to be, oh, everything's organic, farmers markets, buy local. It was very wholesome. But this new generation is going too far to say legalize, tax, and regulate all drugs. Oh, that'll hurt the cartels? No. They will just open legitimate businesses. They would, like, whiskey was once illegal. When they made it legal, yes, the Irish, Jewish, and Italian mafia stopped executing each other and stopped fighting. But now you have way more alcohol companies, way more people becoming alcoholics. All you did was make them money in a more lucrative, regulated way. You cannot be a moral person and say it is good to smoke crack. If you see someone harming themselves and you say this is freedom, this is goodness, this is pure, this is good for society, and that you would offer such substances to your own child like that TJ Jump guy did today in the debate, how can you take moral advice from these people? How can you even accept their criticisms of anything they say? I'm telling you, fam, if you get across these people who promote drugs, have your arguments ready and withstand their mocking, because they are truly a threat to the world because of how much they lovingly talk about drugs and ignore and minimize addiction and the children and families and marriages and crime rates. They minimize all that in favor of this fake image of sexy drug use. It's despicable, fam. What do you think?